So I'm going to have to kind of just show you what the pages look like to begin with, what the end result looks like, and then explain what the CSS is doing. Because when I've tried to record making the actual changes in VS Code and then reloading pages and whatnot, the videos haven't been working. They get frozen on a particular screen. So we'll try it this way. Hopefully the videos will all work properly. So this is the original file that you guys are going to be downloading. And we can take a look at the code. You can see that we have a container and we're styling it with an ID, but you could also just style directly in section. We're choosing ID on this one. We're calling it parent box, but it's a container, and it contains several elements, and we are styling them with various IDs, box 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're using the traditional box, so we will be applying a float property to them. So this is what they look like now, and we will be styling them so they look a little bit more like boxes and so that they float and display next to each other. So this is what the end result is going to look like. So let me show you. Okay, so it's pretty much looks the same here. Where all the magic is happening is over here in the CSS. And let me show you what it starts as. So here's the beginning CSS, not much to it. Okay, and here's the end. So we have added styling for the parent. We've got a width of 600, and we add a little border. And the parent contains all of these boxes. Now, by default, these are in a div or division element, and that would display vertically. But to get them to display horizontally, we added float left. And the traditional box model uses float left. So when you have float left on the first box, what happens is the second box will display next to that, in the same row. Now our second box also has float left. So the content in box 3 would then come up and display on the same row. But you'll notice that box 3 has float right. So when the browser comes down and renders box 3, it's going to have box 1 here, box 2, then box 3 goes on the far right. And it's going to be on the right of the parent. So the parent is 600 wide. So we've got this constraint of 600. So the box 3 is going to be over here on the right. And then box 4 will come up alongside it. Okay? And box 4 also has right. And all that means is the box is on the right and the content can come up around it. So this is how it looks. So we've got box 1 and 2. This had float left and allowed box 2 to display next to it. Box 2 had float left, which allows box 3 on this row, but box 3 had a float right property, so it came over here on the right-hand side. And because it had a float right, that allowed box 4 to come up alongside it on the left. Okay, so that's kind of float right goes to the right of the container, float left goes to the left of the container, and it allows content to come up next to it. Okay, and that's pretty much all that is doing. And as you can see, the source doesn't have a whole lot going on. All of the magic happens in the styling in the CSS. Okay, so that is the first exercise that you need to do.